Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome to today's session on Sciencepreneurship. My name is Aidan McCullen, I'm the host of the Innovation Show, and one of the great axioms of innovation is that innovation happens at the intersections of different people, different departments of organizations, different industries itself, and that's what today is about. Today is about bringing together science and entrepreneurship in this portmanteau, which is Sciencepreneurship, the mix of those two different things. And our panels today are bringing that to life today for you. The partnership between SPRIND, which is the federal government in Germany's team of disruptive innovators, bringing disruptive innovation to life, with Falling Walls is what this session is about. And we have a killer opening session today. And I'm going to welcome him to the stage because I can't do him any justice. He'll do that himself. Benoit Schillings, welcome to the stage. Bienvenue.
All right. First of all, thank you very much. This is quite an honor to introduce this panel and to be invited at Falling Wall. And I'm really enjoying the conference. My name is Benoit Schillings. I am the CTO of X, Google X, which we also call the Moonshot Factory. And with this panel about Sciencepreneurship, very hard to pronounce, by the way, we thought that it might be interesting to talk a little bit of what we've learned at X, things that we found that really foster innovation and really what we call radical innovation. But before I jump into the heat of the subject, let's maybe frame a little bit what Google X really is. So what we do at X, or our product, is what we call Moonshot. And a moonshot is a project or a company which, if successful, could deploy a technology that will positively impact the life of millions or billions of people. Little ambition there. To be more specific, we need, in our opinion, 3 key ingredients to call something a moonshot. The first thing is you need a huge problem, and that can be environment, that can be transportation, but really that type of things which it's not going to be slightly good for a few people. It's going to be very good for many people. The second aspect is that we want a radical solution. There are many smart people in the world. If you want to do something different, you need to go a little bit on a limb. And we're looking for solutions which sounds a little bit like science fiction, things which are at the edge of believable. The third aspect is that we are a technology organization. So the third goal for us is to discover or invent technology that will give us some hope that we can solve that problem in the next 5 to 10 years. We have lots of projects, but let's go a little bit further. Oh, sorry, I thought there was another slide after. Okay. We call ourselves a factory. Why? Because for us, just doing a few moonshots is not enough. What we're really doing, and this is the core of what we do, kind of a meta moonshot, we're looking at how to create an organization which, in a repeatable manner, can do those types of inventions. So what is a culture? What are the things that we found that really can go and create those types of things? Moonshot starts with a what if. And what ifs are powerful. And the type of what if we've used over the year is, for instance, what if a car could drive itself? Now, when you go in San Francisco, you can get a car to pick you without a driver. This is a reality of every day. What if we could deliver goods using drones? I mean, we waste a lot of energy by having those big trucks carrying those small packages. So can we automate the delivery of packages using drones? Or what if you could use laser light to connect a whole region, in countries which might not have connectivity, and really deploy connectivity incredibly efficiently? These are some examples of what if, but these are some of the successful cases. We can dive a little bit into how is the machine really working. And sorry, wrong order. Okay. This is the machine. We have what we call a pipeline of innovation. But the really interesting thing that we have learned is that in innovation, you can do a little bit better than luck. You can be a little bit better than the competitor, but not that much better. The place where you can really make a difference is the speed and the quantity. I like to call it that our job is to kiss frogs. Right? If your goal is to find a prince or a princess and you have a long line of frogs, optimize how quickly you can kiss the frogs. that's what we do with projects. We have lots of frogs at the beginning, and we keep testing and testing new projects. And some of them do survive and evolve. What's interesting is that in most stages here, all the way to graduation, we very actively try to kill projects, because it's so easy to be in delusion that you have something interesting. So this is very much something part of our culture. Now, let me go into a bit more of the heuristic of the tricks that we found to really have an impact on doing moonshot. Yes. So the first one is aim for 10x, not 10%. And this is kind of obvious, but let's say you ask an engineer to design a new car engine that will be 10% more gas efficient. Well, the engineer will go, tweak the design a little bit, maybe have a small innovation, and call it a day. If you give the mission to that engineer, create a new engine that will go 10 times further with the same amount of gasoline, there is no incrementalism in that case. This is the thing that forces you to totally reconsider the problem. Maybe you will not end up with 10x, but maybe you will end up with 2x, which would already be a big deal. So force people to get out of the incrementalism and just slightly tweaking or evolving. The second one is, this is very much Google X lingo, but we do have that metaphor that, let's say you ask a team that their project would be to get a monkey on a pedestal, and that monkey needs to be able to read Shakespeare. What do you do first? We know it's stupid, but the natural and the standard way to proceed would be, let's build a pedestal. Because we know how to do that, right? You use bricks or similar, and it feels very safe because you can show progress. Look, the pedestal is already done. I nearly solved the problem. And then once you have the pedestal, okay, I need a monkey that can speak. And then after spending all that energy on the pedestal, you realize you did not look at the hard part of the project. So at X, we talk about that in code. We call it, what is a monkey? And that's a question we ask all the time to really convince people, spend your money, spend your time, spend your energy on the part that's going to very likely fail, because that's the logical order. Learn to love v0.crap. This thing that you see in the back here was an early prototype of a machine that we use for agriculture, which is able to measure image, use multiple sensors in fields to be able to apply machine learning to agriculture and learn a lot of data. We did not go to make a beautiful prototype. We actually took 2 bicycles, attached them together, and yes, they broke pretty quickly. In the middle, we put all the fancy sensors, hyperspectral camera and others, but we really do not care on how pretty it is. And everybody loves beautiful prototypes, but they take so long. They are so expensive that we are very skeptical when we see a beautiful machine at the beginning. It turned into a beautiful machine, but once again, this is speed. What is the minimum hardware that you can put together to show that it doesn't work? So that's another big principle for us. Build diverse perspective. Once again, this is pretty obvious, but X is composed of people from many disciplines, all the standard technology and science discipline, but we also have people who have been trained in classical music. And when you look at a new problem, bringing all those scientific or technical or even artistic viewpoint changes your perspective. You change the way you think about the problem. You also benefit from the richness of analogy. A person in chemistry may have a metaphor about technology that a person in geology will not have. So really bring diversity and get people not to be fearful of intervening in a domain where they are not expert. The last one is embrace failure. That was one of the early balloons that we did. That was a room that was at minus 70 degrees in Florida, which in itself is already pretty incredible. But we want people to fail. If you have a Formula 1 driver, and that Formula 1 driver never crashes, he's probably not trying hard enough. And we think it in a similar manner in the context of innovation. you need to fail. If you're not failing, the thing that you're trying to do is just not ambitious enough. And then you get the learning that you get from the failure. And that learning is something that you're going to apply in the future. But create an environment where you celebrate good failure, failure that teaches you something, and encourage people to try harder and take risk. And that's something that we very much do at X. And then finally, there's what we call compost. Compost is all those failed projects. And all those failed projects, as I mentioned, through failure, learn something. What you see is that those things have a second life, that from the equipment to the code to the algorithm to the things that we learn from the industry, those things come back to life in mysterious manner. So good documentation, but also don't expect that if something fails, this is the end of the road. Often new things are going to emerge out of those projects. So these are the quick tips. Looking forward to the panel, and thank you very much.